I've had health challenges my whole life. And when I was 7, it was at the worst where I had a thermography scan done and I had more inflammation than any adult they had seen. And I went on the holistic medicine route of letting food be thy medicine, started growing microgreens, started going on a gut repair diet. And within 8 months, it was like night and day. I was feeling so much different. So when kids start growing their own microgreens, they start eating them, even if they're picky eaters. And that is such a really powerful thing to be able to know that I'm inspiring the next generation to eat something other than just chicken nuggets and hamburgers. If I could do it when I was 7 and I was super sick, anyone can grow microgreens. I like to say you may not have a green thumb, but you have a microgreen thumb.
Connor, thank you very much for joining me on Success Matters podcast.
Thank you for having
We've,
me.
yeah, you're welcome. We've connected through Podapalooza, and your profile says that you grow microgreens or stuff like that. So, first of all, how did you get into that? And for the benefit of those people who don't really know what that is, could you explain a bit more about what it is?
Yeah, so I'll start with what they are and then go into how I got into them.
Okay.
Microgreens are the stage right after a sprout. So you have the seed, the sprout, then the microgreen. So they're tiny baby vegetables, and they're the most nutrient dense stage in the life cycle of a plant. And you'll start noticing them a lot more. They've started gaining a popularity because of that. As well, they're pesticide free. And they have a phytonutrient called sulforaphane, which has been which they've started to research, and it's been known to reduce cancer and inflammation. So it's really powerful. As well, there's very little anti-nutrients, which are like your lectins are the most popular ones you'll hear about. So they're really powerful for you. I got into the microgreens because I've had health challenges my whole life.
Mhm.
And when I was 7, it was at the worst where I had a thermography scan done and I had more inflammation than any adult they had seen. And I was 7. They threw around the C word, they had all sorts of things that they thought it could be, but they didn't really have any answers for what was really going on. So I went on the holistic medicine route of letting food be thy medicine, started growing microgreens, started going on a gut repair diet, and within 8 months, it was like night and day. I was feeling so much different. The thermography scan showed that I was really reducing inflammation, and it was completely different. So fast forward to COVID, I was feeling better and I saw that the world wasn't. And that's when I realized I had something to share with people who are not sure how they were going to get food security and be able to eat cleaner food when the produce quality dipped and the prices rose.
Mhm. Right. Okay. Right. So, it's basically your own self-discovery that you recognize the value from eating these microgreens. When you talk about microgreens, there's the bit that's kind of like it's sprouted, but it's not fully grown. So what sort of vegetables would count within that microgreens? Is it every single vegetable, or are there some that you would clearly you couldn't count, but others you can?
So it would be any kind of vegetable. The only kind that you can't count, well, you could, but you wouldn't eat it, would be your nightshades, such as your tomatoes, potatoes, any kind of vegetables that have a stem that is not safe for us to eat. So you wouldn't be able to eat them in the microgreen stage. And you can also grow fruits like cantaloupe, watermelon, as well as herbs like mint and basil. There's even popcorn microgreens. There's wasabi is one of my favorites. It's nice and spicy. It's real wasabi. A lot of people in America have never had real wasabi. It's usually horseradish that's been
Hmm.
dyed green.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to have the real stuff.
Yeah. I think to be fair, I think around the world, most people haven't had real wasabi.
No,
It is, as you say, horseradish dyed green, but sold as wasabi, which is not always the real thing. And
misleading.
I had the pleasure of going to Japan earlier this year, and I did get to try real wasabi though. And
What was it like?
how do you describe wasabi? It tastes like horseradish. It's like,
Is it similar to what the regular one is? Or, I mean, not regular, but the normal.
so of course the thing is, it's that bit where it hits you at the back of the
Oh,
nose,
yeah.
right? That's a more
Mhm.
powerful hit from real wasabi than it is from the
Yeah.
horseradish. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
It's very
Yeah.
difficult to kind of like, yeah, otherwise explain.
Explain it.
Yeah. When you grow your microgreens, what do you do? How do you grow
So
them?
it's really cool. I'll show you what I have. So this is what the microgreen kit looks like right here. And in this box, you have, and here's what it looks like fully grown as well.
Okay.
So really cool. So you open it up, you have your kit. So you have your seeds, your soil, and your spray bottle. So
Hmm.
you take this out, you take one packet of seeds. So you have broccoli, salad mix, oriental mustard. All of the seed packs have a little QR code that takes you to a video on how to grow microgreens.
Okay.
So you hydrate your soil like this. You put like a cup of water in and it grows into like a soil, like what you would imagine soil consistency. It's completely sterile, so you don't have to worry about eruptions of bugs, which is really nice
Right.
when you're growing in your house. So you spread it across your tray, which looks like this, put your seeds on top, and then you take your spray bottle, mist it. And then for the next 3 days, you'll be misting it. So it's super simple. Then after that, you start lifting your tray up, putting a cup of water in, and putting that back down. 7 days, you have food. So it's super simple, super easy. No weeding, no bugs. You just leave it inside so you don't have to worry about the weather. It's so awesome.
And what do you do? So 7 days, you get the growth. You do you cut or do you pull vegetables out?
I would suggest cutting them. It's a little bit easier. If you don't mind getting like a little bit of the soil, you can always pull them out and wash the roots. So that way you have the roots as well.
Yeah.
So that's kind of up to your preference. But for most people, I just suggest cutting it right next to the soil. So just use scissors or a super sharp knife and you're ready to go.
Okay. And so that 7 days growth, how long would that last you for your meals?
It really depends upon how much you like to eat microgreens. I could eat a whole tray like that in a week very easily. So I tend to grow a bit more than most people do, but usually like a handful is about a good serving. So you can get like about 6 days worth because a handful is about an ounce and there's 6 ounces in microgreens. If you can't eat them, they take you can after day 7, you can grow them for another 7 to 14 days. Just let them keep growing.
Mhm.
If you haven't finished them by then, you just harvest them, put them in the fridge with a airtight container and a dry paper towel. You have another 7 to 14 days. So if you're someone who just eats a little bit here and a little bit there, you can always wait. You have like 30 days to eat your microgreens. But you'll find that you can add them to anything. You'll add them to soups, salads, sandwiches, pretty much anything you're already eating in your day-to-day
Right.
life. And then if you eat pizza, I like to say, it makes it healthy, right? Just having that little bit of microgreens on there.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Yeah, it just helps a little,
So
and every little bit makes it.
you always eat them raw, right? Do you ever add them
I
into?
would suggest that.
Mhm.
If you heat them up, then you're gonna get less of the benefits from your microgreens. You can do that, I have a video that talks more in depth on that, because there are some benefits to keeping it raw, but if the only way you're gonna eat it is if it's cooked, then it's better to do that than nothing.
Okay. When you went through this journey yourself and you kind of use food as medicine, um, how how did you work out what the right combinations of food were to get to being healthy?
Yeah, that's a really great question. I ended up getting a holistic medicine doctor who went through. I got a whole panel of my blood work done where I had a whole 3 ring binder that went through everything that I had any kind of antigens to, which is similar to allergies, but usually not quite as intense.
Mhm.
And if I had even just a slight bit of a sign that I might be allergic to it or have antigens to it, I was not able to eat it for about a year. So I couldn't have chocolate, I couldn't have strawberries, I couldn't have, bananas. I also had antigens to grass, so it was just a bunch of different things, and then I went on a super strict diet where I could have some meat, some fruits, and some vegetables, and so microgreens were really huge during that time when I couldn't really go and get a protein bar, I could go and get microgreens. So it was
Okay.
really powerful.
Okay. Protein bar, chocolate bar, strawberries, or microgreens. It's a tough choice for
Yeah,
people to make, right? Because those are nice and tasty. Microgreens are tasty, but they're different. There is a different
right.
taste to that.
They are. Yeah, and well, and also you can have if you want something more sweet, there's, like, cantaloupe microgreens, which are really good, or
Mhm.
watermelon, and so there are other options for if anyone who has a sweet tooth.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was intense. I was definitely not the most popular person when I went to birthdays, as you can imagine, but it was so worth it to feel better.
Yeah. And you've continued this diet now, have you? It's a part of your daily routine?
I wish I could say I have.
Okay.
I've kind of moved more lax recently because I've been traveling so much,
Right.
and I know how important it is. So I do what I can to maintain it as much as I can. But since I'm doing better, I haven't been as strict for sure.
Okay. All right. And so this is now your business, is it, Connor? Or
It is, yes.
okay.
I
And
started it when I was 14.
all right, when you were 14, so instead of a lemonade stand, you started a microgreen business. Okay. And how's the business going?
It's going really good. Yeah, when I started it, it was like my, schooling project, just kind of a side thing that I was doing for fun,
Mhm.
and then I really started to realize how much it meant to me and how much I saw that it was impacting all the people around me, and that's when I realized that I had something that I could share with the world that was going to be able to change the world. So, it's been so powerful, and it's really cool how much it's grown in that sense. I'm moving into wholesale distribution, which is really fun to be able to get into bigger stores. As well, my YouTube channel is really starting to expand, and it's been really cool to see how many people I've been able to impact just by being able to share the things I've learned over the 14 years of growing microgreens.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of this sort of thing, right? Especially with the technology we have available now, is you can share your story and make that connection. So someone who's been on a bit of a kind of health journey, but found a path through food. What does success mean to you?
That's a good question. Success to me is being able to change one person's life. I heard this quote that people want to change the world. But when you look at that and you look at one person, you can change their world. And by changing their world, you're ending up changing the whole world entirely because now you're creating that ripple effect. And so to be able to impact people and make the world an even better place, that's what success means to me.
Okay, that's very mature for someone, yeah, so young. Because oftentimes people, especially in the kind of younger years, are thinking about those elements which are more stuff related, right? You know,
Right.
the car or the apartment or the fancy jewelry or something of that nature. But yeah, you're right. That one changing one person has a big ripple effect. And
100%.
I'm reminded of a someone I worked with relatively early doors in her career, and one day out of the blue, she came in with a present from her mum because her mum's with a little card saying, you know, you've what you've done is so great because it's helped all of us. So it's like, wow, that was the best kind of feedback I ever got from anyone was, you know, beyond the person, but her family as well. So that's really, really cool. So do you have examples of that nature? Have people come back to you and said, Connor, I watched your YouTube video or I read this thing about it and this is the impact it's had on me?
Definitely. In fact, one of my favorite stories is on this box right here. I don't share it on here, but I wanted to share with you who this is. So this was a young kid who came to my booth and he had no interest in vegetables, none. Just wanted chicken nuggets and hamburgers, nothing else, no vegetables. But he was interested in growing his own microgreens. So he was like, you know what? I'll grow the microgreens. I don't want to eat them, but this is fun. So he started growing microgreens and then something happened. He started eating the microgreens, which is so huge because he was not gonna eat the microgreens, he refused.
Mhm.
Then he started eating vegetables. So when kids start growing their own microgreens, they start eating them, even if they're picky eaters. And that is such a really powerful thing to be able to know that I'm inspiring the next generation to eat something other than just chicken nuggets and hamburgers.
Yeah, and that's so important because there are so many kids like that, right? Who are just eating chicken nuggets, hamburgers, French fries, and that's about it, and you're not getting the nutritional benefits. And what you said there about growing your own, that's really important actually, because once you know you can grow your own, then you do engage with it a lot more, don't you?
100%. And so many kids don't know how to grow their own food, and so to be able to bring them back into how food is made is so huge, and then they get a more appreciation of how much effort goes into food, and
Mm.
it's so powerful and incredible. And then I've had some people who have had significant health challenges who have really incorporated microgreens into their diet, and it's really made a difference for them, and so I love hearing all those amazing stories and how much of an impact it's made, for sure.
Yeah. And as you've shown with the tray, it's a simple thing. It's not like you need to have a massive garden or
Yeah,
you know, place to grow it. You can grow in quite a small tray.
like
Yeah.
this. Yeah. If I could do it when I was 7 and I was super sick, anyone can grow microgreens. I like to say you may not have a green thumb, but you have a microgreen thumb.
Yeah, that's true, and you've made it simple with the little packaging of that as well. So one of the things I do in my podcast is I ask a previous guest to ask a question for my next guest. Um, so my previous guest asked, "Is there something special you do to connect with people?"
Wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
One thing that comes to mind is I'm on the autism spectrum, and for a while, I had a really hard time looking people directly in the eyes,
Okay.
and so it's just learning how to get out of that discomfort, that space of, like, I don't know why, but there's something about looking people in the eyes, and so I found this trick that if you look right in the center, right above their eyes,
Uh-huh.
it looks like you're looking directly at them, and so then I was able to connect on a deeper level. As well, I've started learning how people communicate, and everyone communicates a little differently. Some are more visual, some are more auditory, and to be able to talk at the same level that they're saying. So if they're like, "Wow, that looks really cool," you know that they're more visual, and so then you can start tailoring your words to help meet them where they're at. And so to be able to communicate in a way that affects more people is really impactful for sure.
Yeah, and that's a great tip you said about looking if you feel uncomfortable looking at people's eyes, then
Yeah.
look at the forehead. Some people might call that the third eye because some people say that's
Yeah.
yeah, you often feel that. So that's yeah, and maybe you're making more of a connection by looking at the third eye. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. It could be
Mm.
for sure. And yeah, it's just finding ways that you can be in the same space as someone and, be able to be present is really huge.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Being present is probably one of the most important parts that we could take from that. Do you have a
Yeah.
question for my next guest?
I do. Do I say it here or do I tell you?
Yeah, you tell me. You tell me now.
Okay. So what is the challenge that has led to the biggest opportunity for them? Like Napoleon Hill says, "With every challenge comes a seed of equal or greater opportunity." And what is the opportunity that they found in challenge?
Okay, so what is the opportunity that they found in the challenge? Mm,
Yeah,
okay,
in some challenging event that they've experienced.
right. Okay. And for you, that was the challenge was your health and the
For me,
opportunity was that? Or was it something
yes.
else?
Yeah, for me, there's so many of them. The one that comes to mind for me would be that even in the darkest times, there's still hope. There's still a chance to be able to grow something even bigger. For sure, it's the microgreens.
Yeah,
And it led to my business that has impacted my life and impacted so many other people.
right.
And there's always something to grow from all those challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, and we used the word grow there quite a few times in that, which is
Very
I
fitting.
think very fitting indeed to what you're doing. So Connor, we're kind of at the top of our time now. Um, if people want to get in touch with you or find out more about the work that you do, what's the best way for them to contact you? What's your YouTube channel? Yeah, how can they see what you're up to?
So you can go to any social media platform and type in Amelia Island Microgreens, and I'll be there. As well, if you want to learn how to go from microgreen beginner to microgreen grower, I have created a free microgreen masterclass that you can go to. Take out your phone and text the words microgreens to 26786. That's microgreens to 26786. And
Okay.
from there, you'll get more information on microgreens.
All right, that's cool. So that's for people who are in the US. For people who are in
Yes.
international, uh, what's the best way for them to get hold of that? Is do you have a website
Right?
as well that they can do?
Yes, I do. AmeliaIslandMicrogreens.com.
How do you spell Amelia Islands?
Amelia. So like the name Amelia, and
Okay,
then island like an island and microgreens. Microgreens.
great. Okay, cool. Well, we will be sure to include that as part of the podcast itself. So thank you
Awesome.
very much for taking part in Success Matters, Connor. It's been a great conversation,
I
and
really enjoyed this too.
and I'm thinking right now of this. I have a little it's a growing
Mm.
trough that I've got, which
Oh,
I'll plant
nice.
lettuce, carrots, tomatoes,
Okay.
onion, and aubergine. And
Okay.
I was just literally thinking, which of those could I harvest now as
Mm,
microgreens? Well, lettuce probably,
interesting.
carrot no,
Yeah.
tomato you told me no. So yeah,
Carrot you can. Yeah.
carrot you can, okay.
I love the smell of them because the seeds smell like carrots. It's a really cool one to grow. It's a little bit more challenging. I would recommend the lettuce microgreens to start out with.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think so.
they're
I
fun.
think so too. That's probably the easiest one. Well, the carrots, would I pull them out or would I just take the tops?
You just harvest them the same way.
Okay.
They yeah, they're little they're thin ones, they're really fun to grow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cool. All
so
right.
many options.
Well, I shall go and do that. So later on
Awesome.
tomorrow.
Yeah, and you can go to the YouTube channel and it'll go more in depth in different microgreens and why you'd wanna grow them, the health benefits, all the good stuff.
All right. That's great. And the YouTube channel is also the same, Amelia Micro.
Amelia Island microgreens, yep.
Brilliant. Okay, great. Well, thank you very much for taking part,
Thank
Carla.
you. I really enjoyed this conversation. It
Thank
was
you.
great to meet you as well.
Yeah, I do too.
To find your success, contact me at info@successmatterscoaching.com. That's info@successmatterscoaching.com.